Hey, what is up, mortals? It is Steampunk Jones here, and welcome back to part 1 of What If Naruto Was a Saiyan. Just wanted to greet you guys by just saying sit back and relax. You're in for a treat. And so, we begin. The deep beat of a shocked heart would overtake the delivery room. Eyes blank as the black-haired Kunoichi's grip of her newly born child loosened. Quickly, Minato grabbed a hold of their baby boy, his small tail weakly wrapped around him. The child whimpered within the father's arms, his gaze directed at his spouse while protecting his spawn. Kushina? Kushina? He asked as the woman slowly came up to her feet, placing her hands on each side of her head as a pounding headache that was overtaking the woman blasted within her. Run. She growled all the while the seal that housed Kurama was beginning to deteriorate, and with this, the seal that contained her natural-born power. What? Stammered the blonde-haired Hokage. Run! Kushina shouted as she roared upwards, her hair beginning to float around as her chakra began erupting from her body and the proportions of her body began to fluctuate. The mysterious masked man looked from afar, vanishing and later reappearing above the Kage mountain face to view the show. Come to me, Fox. He spoke as the building that was made for the birth of the Namikaze Uzumaki child shattered, leaving the splintered wood to shoot out like shrapnel. Jumping away, Minato used his Flying Thunder God Jutsu to escape further out from his wife's destructive power and take their newly born son out of harm's way. Arriving at his home, he set his son down and wore his Kage robe. Before leaving, he pressed his lips onto his child's forehead and then vanished once more. During her husband's escape, the now viewable night sky presented an unfortunate situation. It was a full moon on this night. Her eyes went white as she let out a mighty roar, and while Kurama was released from her body, she grew to a mighty size, several hundred feet in fact. But her form no longer resembled a human being. A fox appeared in the forest area, attempting to flatten the terrain as Ninetales was finally released. In a moment, the fox had been transported into the middle of the village by the power of the masked man and his dreaded Sharingan. Red Eye peered through the small, showing a seemingly demonic sight, as the man began to laugh.
Yes, Fox, yes. First stand beneath your heel.
He exclaimed while using his eye to control the beast to attack the village. While the fox began his path of destruction, many villagers ran for their lives, hoping to escape to the mounts surrounding their home. The Leaf Shinobi, joined by the former Hokage Lord Hiruzen, had entered the battlefield to protect his homeland. At the Kage rock face, the masked man laughed as his vision was coming to fruition. Suddenly, the masked man was joined by the current Hokage. I know it was you, he said in an uncharacteristically serious tone. Then, his eyes finally rested on his Sharingan eye. This man had been controlling the fox, and it was time the blonde resolved the catastrophe. While the two men clashed, suddenly intermittent tremors began to quake around the village's perimeter, and in the distance was a massive ape that seemed to almost sprint towards the rampaging fox. The brown furred beast quickly reached the village, and with one massive jump, it crashed into the fox. Two massive beasts entangled together as they rolled and slammed onto the mountain face. Its massive fist then shot to hit the orange fox, but was slashed away by its fearsome claws. Shoving the ape away with his powerful hind legs, the fox pounded away to create distance and began forming a tailed beast bomb. It shot towards the ape that immediately countered with a blast of energy from its mouth. A clash of chakra immediately reacting to start forming an explosion. Though between the two, a kunai suddenly joined the fray, teleported the blast away to reduce the damage to the village. You will not destroy my village! Kurama violently shook his head as it had been released from the control of the masked man. Two shinobi clashed, and it seemed currently the Hokage was the victor. The ape straightened as it began to pound on its chest and roar up towards the moon. What is this creature? Questioned Minato until he noticed a large ape's tail swinging behind it, and the dots were finally connected. This beast was his wife, Kushina. Past moments of secrecy and fear finally made sense. She was hiding this secret for years. The fox, now seeing his adversary, stabbed its claws into the ground below before rushing towards the ape for another round. Kushina, the ape, proceeded to run to meet the fox to continue their battle. But before the two creatures could create more chaos in the village, the blonde leader of the village sent his specialized kunai and teleported the two away. The two creatures then slammed against each other, their hands pushing against each other in a fight for supremacy. In the midst of the skirmish, the masked man had gotten himself back to his feet and plotted to steal away the fox, while the Hokage's attention was taken by the surprised combatant. Suddenly, orbiting close to the forest area where the beast fought, the masked man held a crying child while in the vicinity of Minato. "No!" shouted the blonde, which caught the attention of the ape as well, and suddenly, seeing her child in the arms of a dangerous-looking man, made her attack. Ignoring the fox, the ape proceeded to run through the trees to demolish the masked man. At that time, the man threw the baby high up in the air before warping away with his kamui. While the beast was distracted, Fox used the opportunity to strike a killing blow. Minato managed to catch his baby, but at the same time, he embraced him. Kushina had clasped the blonde in her giant palms. She used her strength to not crush the two, and let out a barely distinguishable noise.
Naruto?
Exclaimed the brown-furred ape before a horrific pain stabbed through the beast, a massive claw piercing straight from its back, causing the ape to fall onto its knees. In quick succession, the fox slapped the beast with its tails, throwing the creature back several hundred feet away. Due to the damage, the ape began to shrink down until it returned to a more familiar state. The blonde shinobi held tightly to his newborn child that had been protected, but during the tussle, the Hokage had been injured, bones broken from the tightness of the grip during the surprise attack and continued assault. The woman laid bare. Her long hair covered her body as a gaping hole now bled out. Her heart having been completely torn to shreds, her eyes were blank. Expressionless corpse of the ape woman settled cold as ice. Kushina! Yelled out the blonde man with tears running down his face. He dragged himself with one arm as he held the boy in his other arm. He held his spouse's body tightly, his garb stained in her blood.
Nothing but a fool,
said the masked man as he appeared from the shadows, his Sharingan activated, facing the grieving male, his head held high as he knew he had won.
Farewell, master.
The man bowed while the giant fist of the nine-tailed fox slammed down to crush the family. Just a split second before meeting their demise, Minato used the last of his chakra to teleport his son away back to their home, where a seal was always placed for safety. The masked man, using his powerful dojutsu, put the fox back under his control and warped them away. Having won his prize, cries of a lonesome child echoed through the empty home of the third Hokage. Blood covering most of his body, his hair stained a pinkish blonde. The door creaked open as a black-garbed elder got close to the crying boy. Wrinkled hands lifted the child onto his arms and then wrapped the child in a cloth. "Lord Fourth, thank you," spoke the old man as he rocked the boy until he calmed and slept, finally having a peaceful moment for the first time since he entered this world. Many years passed, and the orphan boy had faced many hardships as he grew, usually having to defend himself utilizing his enhanced strength and resembled that of the massive ape that had rampaged on that fateful night. Though the reality of said night was only known to the leadership of the village, and the custody of the child orphaned from the affair had been taken by them. He stays at the academy, being made fun of because his unique traits made him work harder than ever to achieve his goals. Graduation exam day had arrived, and Naruto was prepared. Having trained the day prior, nearly till the sun had risen, it was time for his turn at bat to finally prove that he was meant to be a shinobi. Shaking off the nerves, he stood in front of the class and crossed his fingers to complete the task. "Clone Jutsu!" exclaimed the blonde as with a puff of smoke, an exact duplicate had appeared. He had succeeded in passing the test and was congratulated by his sensei Iruka for his hard work. The next day, Naruto and his classmates had reconvened at the academy to officially graduate and become ninjas. In that moment, two females ran to the sliding door and shouted loudly in unison, "Yo!" The voices of the cherry blossom and sunshine hair girls screeched to the annoyance of many, arguing over petty matters such as who reached the Uchiha survivor first. Sasuke was a popular boy, the top rookie of his graduating class, and especially popular with girls. Witnessing the commotion, Naruto's vision fixed on Sasuke, his eyes squinting in disgust. The black-haired boy locked eyes with the blonde, and the two shared a mutual distrust and dislike of each other. After just a few minutes, the deadlock was broken with a speech from Iruka-sensei. As of today, you are all full-fledged ninjas. However, you are still just getting. From now on, you'll be in squads of 3. You have a Jonin teacher. Following this, he began announcing the team comps, and to Naruto's dismay, he had been partnered with Sasuke and the pink-haired fangirl Sakura. In visible frustration, Naruto slammed his palms on his desk and pointed at Haruno. Why do I have to be teamed up with someone who's only going to be fawning over Sasuke and not even trying to complete a mission? Naruto, stop complaining. He interjected, teams are final. Hanging his head, Naruto gave up, knowing this was the way things had to be. But he didn't like it. Now 3 members of Team 7 now waited for their absentee sensei, while all the others had already gone. After several minutes, the door slid open and a man with silver spiked hair and a nearly covered face entered the room. Follow me. I'll be your teacher. Call me Kakashi Sensei. Nonchalantly said the Jonin while immediately leaving the room at a nearby meeting area. The members of the Team 7 had their first team meeting. Well, tell me about yourselves. Let's start with your names, your likes, dislikes, hobbies, and your goals, said Kakashi as he stood above his seated students. Quickly being the first to speak, Naruto threw a fist in the air and began. My name is Naruto Uzumaki, and I like training. I hate sitting around doing nothing. You know, my hobbies are training, and my goal in life is to become the strongest ninja ever. The masked man nodded before changing his viewpoint to Sakura. Why don't you tell us about yourself first, Kakashi-sensei? She asked curiously since she had not heard of this man in the past. Well, my name is Kakashi Hatake. I don't really feel like telling you guys my likes and dislikes, answered the almost bored-sounding ninja. And I haven't thought about my future goals. Your turn, countered the ninja to continue the exercise. The two introduced themselves and were then told to meet in the forest for their first team training exercise the next day. The next morning, the trio met where Kakashi had specified a large patch of grass sort of deep into the forest. Hours passed, and the three's stomachs roared since they were told to skip breakfast. The hardest impacted by this angle was Naruto himself, as his unique physiology burned through his meals a bit too quickly. After much time, Naruto had fallen asleep under a tree and was rudely awakened by the sound of Sakura's voice. You're late! She blamed it as their sensei had finally arrived. Sorry, black cat crossed my path and I had to take a detour. He excused himself, unbelievably scratching the back of his head. Following the awkward silence, Kakashi explained the test that would be performed. The bell test. Upon hearing what would happen if they failed, the three got serious. Sakura especially began to shake slightly, being intimidated by the undertaking. Ready? Begin, said the Jonin as the three then divided into different directions to proper vantage points, be it a tree or a bush. The Uzumaki boy jumped from the tree, using his brown tail to help his movements, trying to find an opening. During this, he bumped into Sasuke, causing them both to lose their balance and fall towards the ground. Using his quick reflexes, Naruto twisted midair and fell on his feet, while the Uchiha boy fell with a resounding thud that alerted Kakashi to his presence. Noticing this, Naruto picked up his new comrade and rushed into the forest. Hey, sorry for knocking you down. He apologized even though he didn't really care much. You alright? Shoving the other boy away, Sasuke glared at the blonde before speaking. I'm fine. Go away. We shouldn't be grouped together. He'll find us easier. He stopped before jumping away. Naruto jumped back into the trees, deciding it was no use to continue in the shadows, and that action needed to be taken. Sakura had been put under a genjutsu and was immobile at this time, allowing the monkey-like boy an opportunity. Throwing a kunai at his sensei, Naruto began his attack. Reacting quickly, Kakashi dodged the blade with a simple tilt of his body, but was alarmed when the boy's fist was then about to connect. Grabbing a hold of the boy's fist, Kakashi smirked beneath his mask, whilst catching a spinning back kick with his free hand. Then unexpectedly, he was hit in the throat by the blonde's strong tail, causing the ninja to let go and stammer back. Taking advantage of the opening, Sasuke joined the battle from behind. The Uchiha attempted to sweep the Jonin's legs from beneath him. Flipping over the Uchiha, Kakashi countered by backhanding the boy into a spin that dropped him quickly. Straightening himself, Kakashi placed his hand in his pocket and pulled out a book, which immediately took his attention. The bruised Uchiha brought himself back to his feet and rubbed a small amount of blood from his lip. Looking at each other, the two genin nodded and began to attack in unison. It was at this moment when the genjutsu had worn off. Sakura was back to her senses. Looking at her teammates fighting together, she hesitated in joining the fray. didn't want to be left behind. With the gulp, she decided to join the attack, the three now finally teaming up to accomplish their goals. After an exhausting session, the two boys had each gotten a bell, leaving Sakura as the loser of this event. Her long pink hair covered her face as she was growing close to tears. Naruto looked at her and placed a hand on her shoulder, giving a warm smile, wiping a growing tear away. She looked back with a hopeful grin. Sakura, despite not getting a bell, you will not be going back to the academy, revealed the silver-haired ninja with a happy look on his face. We were able to work together. That was the real point of this test. Even if two people got the bells, if they didn't use teamwork, they would fail. Her face began to glow with a wide smile, small tears running down the Kunoichi's face. With a big relieved sigh, she released, "Thank goodness." Thank you all for indulging yourselves in the story thus far. Hope you enjoyed it. Now, there are a few more things I'd like to go over before the video ends. Firstly, we have a primary channel called We the Celestials. We the Celestials is what we do here already, but their content is centered around the crazy world and lore of My Hero Academia. So please, check us out over there if you're feeling in the mood for a roller coaster of quirky content. We also have another relative to our channel, Anime Deep Dive. Anime Deep Dive goes deep into the facts and lore of a wide variety of anime. It's sure to expand your weeb knowledge for all kinds of series, guaranteed. I'd like to let you all know, on behalf of We the Celestials, I'd like to thank everyone involved in the production of today's awesome content. Their details will be in the description below. If you're perhaps interested in what we do here at WTC, then I would like to extend an invitation to join our team. The only caveat being, we don't accept members 16 and older to join our crew. You can find us on our Discord, which you can locate in the description below. Our Discord is an all-around fantastic place to be, whether you're a fan or looking to join our band of misfits. All you gotta do is hit up the recruitment server and sign up for whichever category of work that fulfills your interest. We're always looking for members to join us. Well, that's it from us for today's video. Thank you all for watching, and have a great day.